black, brown. You can get it in either or. Doesn't break out my skin, doesn't make my eyes water. A lot of products do. I have very sensitive eyes, sensitive makeup, all of those things. So the one thing I will say is that Kat Von D products I've always loved. Love to try out Jeffree Stars, so I could give it a review. I know there are plenty of people out there giving it a review. Uh, but from someone who loves the makeup world, I would love to have some of that product from Jeffree Star. So please tag Jeffree Star. I have signed up for all the influencer stuff, and the links aren't working correctly to sign up. And I also would value. I love Jeffree Star. Um, I think he's a hard worker. He has built an empire for himself and his crew. I think that mad props to Jeffree Star. Uh, so I definitely, and I love Jeffree Star for a lot of different reasons, not only makeup. I think attitude and just his business savvy sense from knowing just a little bit to really diving in and working hard to learn that product. The other product I love, and this is one thing that I suggest if you have sensitive skin, um, this is a product I've used since I was a teenager because I have to see a dermatologist regularly because I break out so easily. Um, and it's fragrance free. Is this Clinique Moisture Search? I love this product. It's allergy tested. It's 100% fragrance free, and it is it is a foundation I love. Um, if you have product out there that you make for sensitive people, I would love to give it a review. And honest, um, I will definitely always give positive feedback. Negative feedback, I will give um, not because it's negative, but because if there is something negative, I think there's a good way to put negative and redirect it to make it become a positive in the future. I think every creator can try to make the best product and wholeheartedly do their best. And sometimes there's just something missing. Whether it's the appeasement of the packaging, whether it's um, the ingredients itself, and the thought process went in there, and somewhere something was missed, something didn't go appropriately. But anyhow, so I would strongly suggest, if you have sensitive skin products, feel free to send me some a PR package because I would love to give it a review. A couple other things this week is that we all know the elections happen. I've heard way too much. I mean, I feel like I'm in kindergarten and we're doing this back and forth thing. And all the media is just making it so much. Like, I come on TikTok to avoid, just to get some reality and real conversation in these videos because uh, the election for me is just great. I am just like, I cannot even believe we're paying politicians the money that we're paying them every year to do the jobs that they're doing. I've always said, send a single mother who works or a father that works and has to budget a life off of 10, $15 an hour. Somebody who really gets the American people and what they're doing. Instead, we're paying politicians hundreds of thousands of dollars a year so that they can go talk for the American people. And right now, they're not even doing their job. I mean, I think they're trying. Some of them, I think you have a handful of great. The rest of them, I would clean house with. I mean, that is absolutely insane. Um, and I am not going to put my political views out here. Two things I stay away from: religion and politics. Um, Even though I'm sure they all intertwine together, that is not my dog, not my fight. And if it is my fight, I'll do it privately. Um, the other thing that I've seen a lot of this is the Kat Bundy and Jeffree Star. I know this is a battle that goes way back, and I'm sure that they both have their side. I think it's sad that a friendship was ruined, and if some of the things that I'm reading really were said and really things taken out of context, I think that that's bad. Um, and I am a huge believer in trust and relationships, and I think that if you feel damaged, I mean, so here's the thing, and I love Kat Von D products. It pains me to say this after reading Jeffree Star's um, what I mean his after I went on and watched the whole video, like every single part, to see what was being said and reading the text. And I'm sure that we don't hear or see a lot. But if what I'm reading is correct, it was absolutely not the place for Kat Von D to be. If you want to have those conversations privately, I just felt bad for Jeffree Star. And I say that not because I want to give him pity or because I want to get attention with Jeffree Star. Obviously, I want PR, but that's not why. Like I said, I read those text messages. And if one of my girlfriends messaged me after I hadn't heard from somebody in forever, telling me that, asking me how come I hadn't paid, my first question would be, "Hi, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. What are you up to?" I sure in the heck wouldn't have come on and just said or text message, "Hey, why haven't you paid XYZ?" And that irritates me. So somebody was and jumping too fast into that fire without really thinking it through. And I know we all don't always think things through when we text message, but if you are a friend and a business partner, I mean, like the proper thing would have been saying, "Hey, Jeffrey, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Um, this is really none of my business, but, you know, did something happen? Was there an issue?" And Jeffree Star didn't get any of that. He got silence, no texting and messaging for a while, and then all of a sudden it was a full fledged attack. Whether it was meant to come across that way or not, it was very disappointing. Um, and again, I'm very protective of my friendships, and my friends are very protective of me. That I would find it offensive, and the "hi, how you doing" didn't like even come into play in that message, which I thought, and what Jeffree Star does in his business. Now I understand Kat Von D recommended him. That still, at the end of the day, is the business side of that is none of Kat Von D's business. That is totally Jeffree Star's business. Where, I mean, that's kind of like, okay, in my business, if if you want to have an opinion, that's one thing. But if you recommend somebody and I get to working with them and I just decide, I can't afford it, it's not on the same level, we're just not on the same page, I'm sure he was a fabulous designer. But again, Jeffree Star even said at that time it was not something he could afford. That didn't mean he wouldn't collaborate with him later. That didn't mean that there wouldn't, somewhere down the road, there would not be a collaboration of work together. And I think that, props to Jeffree Star for just being straight up honest about that. But then you get on and you say, you come on here like you own Jeffree Star's business, like Jeffree Star's business is yours. for me, that was it was definitely a bad decision all the way around. And I felt like, I feel bad that a friendship was lost in that. And again, I know having a lot of money is very difficult. Sometimes you, sometimes you think you have friends, and sometimes you find out not so much. Um, and sometimes it's not even about the money, dollars, and cents of the time. But in the same sense, you find out really who's on your team and who's not. And I think those are lessons Jeffrey's had to learn over the years, and I feel bad because in a simple world, in a good world, we all want to be valued and heard, and we want to have our friends, and we want to have our circle. And unfortunately, he's had to make his circle very small. And Jeffree Star comes across to me as a real lover, a lover of fine things, a lover of life, a lover of music and art and makeup, and just puts out some wonderful things. And I find it sad that he had to figure out who his circle was. And, am I thankful that he did? Yes. But is it one of the toughest lessons to learn in life? Yes. Um, being famous is great, but also being famous, I don't think people really can wrap their head around the things that famous people give us to give us so much of them. And I wish that it didn't have to be that way, but it is. And so my heart goes out to Jeffree Star for figuring it out. And he's still learning, he's still growing, he's still adventuring into things, new things all the time. And I love him for that. He's going giving me great content, feedback, amazing videos. And keep your world in color. The Gucci, or no, it was Louis Vuitton. The Louis Vuitton bags that you got that were pink. Just so you know, OMG. And I know that's an old saying from, 1980, whatever. But I love them. I'm over the top about them. And they're so you, Jeffrey. I don't think Louis Vuitton could have done a better job than making sure that they represented you to every level. And what a gift. Again, I just want to say that I hope everybody has a wonderful week coming up. Am I never going to the office? I'm actually going into the office this week. Scary thought. I haven't left the house in I have left the house. I haven't really ventured to the workplace in 3 years since COVID. Um, so I decided that, yeah, it's time. I'm not going to go to work at the office. But I am going to go this one day, just to show up, at least give my appreciation to everybody who worked so hard to learn how to navigate working online and letting us work from home, and not making us come back to the office. I do value that. I do value the management that I work for, because they do. Uh, Sometimes in the world of corporate, that doesn't happen very much, but I'm very thankful that it has. And then also, if my challenge to every one of you, and feel free to share on this video feed. Um, Feel free to share how amazing it is to do, random acts of kindness. Just, share what you put out there in the world, what you've done good. I would love to hear that. If you have a video or a picture of what you've done, share it with me. I would love to see it. I am huge on volunteer work, putting goodness back. whether you're helping a school, whether you're supplying, like Mama Tot. I loved Mama Tot went and put together or helped put together a school giveaway this year. I thought that was wonderful in her community. I would hope someday to grow this that big to where I just had enough to put that extra out there. I mean, I still volunteer and do things, but I would love to always go and just having that extra would be just the coolest thing ever. And I know that every collaborator works together to help each other. And that is one thing I have loved. I know that people say a lot of things. Like I heard it all when I was going to start this TikTok adventure. Oh no, they're going to ban TikTok. They're going to do that. Okay, so when they ban it, they ban it. There's not a lot any of us can do about it except for voice our opinion and our freedom of speech. Don't ever give that up. Just don't. And then I think the other thing is that I heard how horrible it was, and I have not. I know there's dangers out there. There's dangers everywhere. I think that we have to be mindful, and we have to pay attention to who we're having on our page, who we're not. And I'm not great at that. I'm working. I'm a work in progress. But in the same sense, not overshare private message wise to people that you really haven't had in your circle or you don't know. Be careful of that. But again, I also think that we all need to, just keep on lifting each other up. I have had nothing but good feedback, and even the criticizing feedback has been decent. It hasn't been ugly. And I've been very thankful for that. So I definitely want you all to have a wonderful week, and thank you so much for just being part of my TikTok page.